Welcome to Glitch Please, the show where we talk all about video games, and boy, do we have a big one to talk about today.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
That's right, it is.
Really excited about it still going strong, weeks after its release.
Yep.
Man.
No bugs, great gameplay.
Let's talk about that Greek tragedy.
But first, introductions. I'm Brian.
Oh, I'm John.
And I'm Bryant.
Welcome back, Bryant. I think this is
I
your
appreciate
second
it.
time on Glitch Please. So we like to start off, and since you're newish, what are you playing?
Well, the elephant in the room, I'm playing, of course, Red Dead, but the game that has my eye right now, Funhouse turned me onto it.
Okay.
It's called Dark Deception. And it's this free-to-play game on Steam, and it's a horror game, so it's perfect for the time of the year.
Yep.
And the best way I can explain it is it's a first-person Pac-Man game.
Okay.
So you're
Guys,
running
watch
through.
them play that. It's fucking weird.
It is the funnest game I've played in a while.
It's first-person horror Pac-Man.
Yeah, you're running through a hotel hallway and you're grabbing as many diamonds as you can, and you have to wear headphones because, like, you can hear the monkeys chasing you.
Which are the ghosts
Yeah,
of
which are the
Pac-Man.
ghosts, and they're
Holy
these
shit.
creepy monkeys with like the clappers.
Yeah.
So
Big
as they get
nasty
there we go.
teeth.
As they get closer, you hear the clapping getting like louder and louder. It's terrifying, and then you turn the corner. Boom, it's in your face, and it's just so addicting. I can't get enough of this game. Yeah.
That does look cool.
And you have this tablet here on the left side, and like there's stuff that like stops or stuns the ghosts or the monkeys, and then you can have the enemies blip on your radar or not. It's so fun. It's free to play, which is like, it blew me away that this game was free to play.
Is it new?
It came out in September, so yeah. fairly
Okay, so
new.
newish.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're only in October.
I want you to see the monkeys.
Yeah, the monkey is absolutely terrifying.
They're pretty bad.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh my God.
It's like a Five Nights at Freddy horror game going on, yeah.
Well, yeah.
John?
I am playing the RDR2.
Yep.
And we can talk about that in depth more.
That's later.
I make a joke, but I'm actually trying to still finish Assassin's Creed Odyssey because I have determined that due to the fact that RDR is out and coming soon is Fallout, if I'm gonna have time to even pick that up. I got Pokemon coming out in a few weeks. And I got just a back catalog of other stuff that's happening, and
It feels like sometimes it feels like, and this is a champagne problem, but it does feel like a series of fucking book reports that we have to plow through this shit because like it's all good stuff, but like it's not gonna stop until what, Smash in December?
I think games are kind of turning this into me that regardless of how good they are, if I don't play them when they come out, I don't know when I'm going to play them because then they become part of this cloud of back catalog. That especially someone like me who just is now finally getting back into console gaming, has a back catalog in itself doing that.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I was just talking with Eric Vespi and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to play Fallout when it comes out. Like, because RDR, I am adoring RDR. I'm only, I don't know, 20 hours into it. So I've got like another 200 hours of the game. And so I've got that going for me. I'm buying, why have they not put the Pokemon Let's Go Switch on sale yet? It's fucking 2 weeks away and I can't even pre-order this goddamn console.
Somebody posted a picture on Reddit. Their Walmart had accidentally put out the Smash Switch, the Smash themed Switch, just a whole shelf. God bless employees that don't give a shit.
It's
that
specifically
are just like,
Walmart employees.
Yes.
But as soon as I buy that, I'm going to be playing. I want to play Pokemon Let's Go because I'm really excited about that, and Smash is coming out, and I'm super excited about that. I want to play Mario Party, so there's like all this stuff, and so. While Red Dead is going on, always in my subconscious, I'm trying to do Assassin's Creed Odyssey and at least finish the campaign.
There is a window when a game is in the zeitgeist, and it's easy to. That feels like the optimal time. Like everybody's talking about Red Dead 2 right now. They're posting funny gifs.
Yeah, there's memes and everything happening, and you want to be in on the joke and everything like that. And so, I mean, I'm there with Red Dead, and I was there with Assassin's Creed, but I didn't finish it. And I was even late to finishing Spider-Man. Maybe it's because I'm really bad at games.
Well, and you bring up a good point with, Spider-Man right there. Games not only are coming out so fast and right next to each other, then they're tacking on DLC.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man has like 3 DLCs.
I bought the DLC.
And it's already out. The first DLC is already out.
I played 2 hours of the first DLC. I don't know if I'm going to finish it, but I own it.
What's funny is like I'll look at it like I primarily play on PlayStation, and I'll be like, oh, I'm going to platinum this game. I said that with God of War this year. Like I'm going to platinum God of War, and then 12 games came out. And then Spider-Man came out, and I'm like, I'm going to platinum Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then
Now you're
Red
reminding
Dead
me-
came out, and I'm just like, no, I don't platinum anything.
I'm 95% done with Spider-Man as far as platinum.
I'm the
and I probably won't platinum at this point because I'm gonna play with my horse on Red Dead. Is what I'm gonna do.
I did the same thing that you did with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I was trying to do a Dragon Quest XI, like, I need to finish this. I need to fucking finish. Because I feel like guilty somehow if I put one game down and they're like, but Brian, we're almost done. Like, nope, sorry, Red Dead's out. But I still haven't. I finally had to put it down and go, because I like to play one at a time, like I'm reading a book. I like to play this game, I go all the way through, I get everything I need out of it, and then I put it down or sell it back and move on.
Yeah,
like, it's impossible now.
Well, a prime example for me this week was I'm a No Man's Sky fan, and they just came out with that brand new update.
Oh yeah,
No
Halloween.
Man's Subnautica or whatever
Yeah,
they're calling it now. Where it's got brand new underwater subs, creatures.
This game is trying so fucking hard. This
And I
game
was
has been
playing
trying hard for over a year now.
And so I'm playing Red Dead and I see these trailers and I'm like, that's cool. I'll have to touch that in like 2 or 3 months or whenever I get the opportunity to play that.
Someday.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky is like a contestant on a makeover show that's like coming out like, well, look at me now. And you're like, that's great, No Man's Sky. We've still got other shit to play.
Yeah.
It's the she's all that of video
What's
games.
what's the third Skylar sister in Hamilton? That's what No Man's Sky is.
Eliza?
Jenny. That's her name. The one that's like, I'm here too.
Yeah.
Like that's her.
And Jenny.
It's like working
That's beautiful.
so
It's
hard.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's working
the one
so
thing
hard.
about this though is my friend raised a great question about it. He's like, for a game that has 16 quintillion planets, why are you putting so much effort to make me never want to leave my planet?
Yeah. Make
And
the
that's
planets
what
even
this
more
does.
in depth.
Yeah, like it's beautiful.
It
I
is
want to
very
jump in
beautiful.
on it, but I've got horses to ride.
I already played
planes to
Subnautica
rob.
though. I'm good.
Yeah.
I also made sure today is October 31st, which is why I'm dressed the way I am, or maybe not why I'm dressed the way I am. I feel like the way I'm dressed is pretty much on par with how I normally dress.
I was going to say, this is not a huge departure.
It's not a huge departure. But I did log in this morning just to be able to buy a ton of loot boxes for Overwatch, so that I haven't played Overwatch in a few weeks
to get
now,
all the skins.
because I want the Halloween skins, and all you have to do is buy them before the time loot box ends, and they can sit there in your inventory until you log back in and open them.
That's cool.
So because you buy the specific box.
That's nice of them
And
to
so-
give you what you paid for.
Right, and so I can just be like, that's what I did. I like got off of Red Dead, bought a bunch of loot boxes, and then went to work.
Since all the loot box drama, has Overwatch's loot box system changed at all?
No, because theirs wasn't ever anything that was tied to drama, because theirs is 100% linked to just cosmetics. That is it. And
That was the smartest thing they ever did.
And then on top of that, it's really awesome cosmetics that they put a lot of work into. So at least you're getting something that's pretty amazing. The Halloween stuff looks fucking awesome.
Oh, wow.
And it's mostly skins and emotes.
It's all
and-
skins, emotes, voice lines, like victory poses, stuff like that. However, it has its own like internal controversy in that everyone, kind of balks at the win rate of it. There's a color system that denotes like how well of a thing you got, from white to blue to gold to purple.
The Blizzard.
Or purple to gold.
The Blizzard.
Yeah.
Yeah, color
it's the
coding
item thing.
system.
And the joke is always 3 blues and a white, because it's just like, oh, I got like a bunch of sprays and a voice line. That's what I get. I didn't get a skin, and so like you'll open like 10 boxes and just get that. And so, granted, there's a lot of opportunity for you to just get a bunch of shitty stuff.
Yeah.
You're playing the gamble.
How much is a loot box? $3? $5?
$2.
Okay.
But they also pay you out on repeats.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that's
so
just
that's kind
coins.
of nice. Yeah, but
yeah,
you
and so
can use
you
those
at least
coins
don't.
for-
Yeah, you at least don't stack up repeats.
Would you bring up another good point? There's also fucking Halloween events going on right now. Because like I've been stuck grinding Destiny 2's Halloween event because there was this gun. I finally got it, but it took several hours to get all the stuff. I'm glad I did it. Like I had fun, but yeah, everyone, the games that do exist, rolling out their seasonal events, so you gotta.
Pokemon's got theirs going on.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten a motherfucking shiny Drifloon. I don't think they exist, and I'm mad at this goddamn game.
I still haven't got the legendary raid one yet.
I already
so
got
gotta get onto
that. That I can actually like. You can actually like go like, it's over there. I'm gonna go get that legendary.
Yeah.
Like that's what you can do. But the Drifloon is just like, there's more shinies around. Wink, wink. Like, there's like totally more. And I'm like, no, there aren't. I have caught like 200 of these stupid balloons, and none of them are shiny.
And shinies mean nothing.
They mean nothing.
They're just shiny.
They
sparkle.
mean nothing. They are cosmetic, but they are so connected to the catching them all aspect of the game, which is all about collecting and having a very rare collection. It's right up there with like, trading cards and comic books and that kind of thing. So
I've seen people though have orgasms on YouTube when they've caught a shiny.
Ooh,
like people lose their shit.
It's one of my favorite videos on YouTube is.
And not that fake, like, that you're just doing to, like, it's a fucking put on, like, legitimately lose their shit.
Wait, YouTubers they overact? And they fake stuff?
Yeah.
It's news to me.
I love to watch Pokemon trading card pack opening videos. Send the hate. You can send the hate.
Is that an ASMR thing?
The address here at the office is 1901 East 51st Street. Send the hate. They're very fun. It's very calming. It's a little, some of them are very ASMR-esque, and I kind of like that. I'll have it in the background. However, some of them do get a little overboard when like they open up some sort of like GX hollow full art one, and they're like, oh my god. I'm like, okay, let's chill it out.
Wait, are these real card packs?
Yeah,
these are actual.
Yeah, because Pokemon Trading Cards still is coming out with new like things, and so people get like the giant pack and open like 20 packs.
Yeah.
My favorite one of those is there's a guy on YouTube who goes to like Walmarts and he stages it like it's a Storage Wars episode. Mm-hmm. So he goes to the toy aisle and he's like, we're looking for hidden packs. And then he'll like search in like the Power Ranger toys and be like, look, we found a Pokemon pack. And then he goes under the shelf and he's like, somebody was hiding this. And then he goes home and opens them. And I'm just like, I shouldn't be watching this. I have so much other stuff to do, but it's addicting.
Is it real? I
no,
guess you
it
never
has
know.
to be
He has to
100%
plant that
staged.
shit.
It's totally staged.
Yeah.
I do have to share something to you, Brian. So I thought about you on a date the other day.
That's awesome. I think I had a dream about you last night. You were in a romper, and I was like,
well,
why
that
is John
tracks.
in a romper? Yeah.
I have like 4 rompers. So no, I was out with a girl, and we were talking, and I think we were talking about like our bad sleep habits, and she was saying that like she's all I should totally go to bed at a good time.
Yeah.
But it's even though I know I should go to bed, I'm just still there lying on my bed, lying on my side, playing Hearthstone. And I realized, I associate Brian with Hearthstone immediately from now on.
That's
is
a
what
keeper.
I do.
I have a bad update. As far as that goes, I had to uninstall it from my phone because it got too big. Like, it's too big.
Oh, size-wise?
Yeah, I have this is like an iPhone 6, but it's only like a 16 gig, which is the biggest mistake of my life I've ever made. And it's just like too fucking big.
How big is the install now? Because I remember when I tried to install it way ago, it was like over 2 gigs.
I have 3 gigs of open space. It will not install. And I'm like, I can't delete anymore. I'm like deleting family photos.
Yeah.
Like,
bro.
Backing them up.
Yeah.
But
They need to allow you to have like the game in the cloud. And for you
Yeah.
to stream it to your phone.
On my Android, it's listed as 4 gigs.
Yeah.
Man.
That must be the.
Why? It's a card game.
It's a lot of cards, John.
It's a
Gotta fit all
card
in
game.
there.
There's a lot of Pokemon, and the Pokemon Go, and that's a big game, but it's not 4 gigs.
It has
I'm
gotten
actually
ridiculous.
interested to know what Pokemon Go's install is because I'm storing all of those Pokemon in that game.
You look up. What's
look it up.
Pokemon?
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Video
You
game.
were.
We're talking video games.
We were having a creepy. I dreamed about you. I thought about.
Well,
you
you
on a
dreamed about
date
me, which is
today.
your subconscious had no control over it. I literally was on a date with another person.
That's awesome.
And stopped thinking of that person and started thinking of my.
Aren't you supposed to put your phone down though before you go to sleep? Like, don't they say? Like,
Oh, yeah,
you're not
yeah.
supposed to look at it for an hour or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, there's
And I'm like, what about 30 seconds?
there's a list of things. If I can get to Old Man John for 2 seconds, that
Go
I am
for
now
it.
doing to try to get better at sleeping because sleep is the last thing of my health that I cannot figure out. In fact, today I have a weighted blanket coming to me from Amazon, and I'm super excited about it.
Yeah.
That you need to talk about that next week because I do want to know. I'm very interested.
I didn't know if I should get the 15 pound or the 20 pound. I put a poll up on Instagram. A lot of people were like, John, don't get the 20 pound. It's too heavy. You'll be too much. I'm like, fuck you. I'm getting the 20 pounds. So I got the 20 pound blanket coming to me today.
just to be a contrarian.
Well, I think it's a little bit of like also like I work out. I should be allowed to have the 20 pounder.
I need at least 2 devices to sleep. I have to wear a mouth guard because I grind my teeth.
That's right. And then you have apnea, don't you?
And I have to have a CPAP mask on, which you laugh, and it is hilarious because I look like Bane when I go to sleep. It is the best thing I've ever done.
I take melatonin.
Yep.
And this is the fun part. What do you do to sleep? It's right after what are you playing? It's what do you do to go to sleep? I take melatonin every fucking night.
Yep.
And I also have a sound machine playing like White Noise and Rain, as well as fucking headphones that are playing White Noise and Rain, because I have an upstairs neighbor that, not noisy all the time, but every once in a while, for some reason, like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I think they just drop a lead statue.
They're working out with kettlebells.
Just once. They just drop it once and they go conk right over my head and it wakes me up. So I have to like drown everything out.
That's the worst part to me about apartment living is noise from the I like having my shit fixed and all that, but hearing those noises bothers me.
Pokemon Go is 234 megs.
Oh, that's not bad.
234 megs. It's a giant game
Yeah.
that doesn't work perfectly all the time and glitches out constantly and crashes and requires restarts all the time.
That's based off of a fresh install. I don't know if yours might be bigger somehow.
Like as far as cached.
I guess, yeah.
But still, you've got an install of that and an install of Hearthstone, and you're comparing just those two right now.
230 megabytes to 4 gigs is a huge difference.
It just feels like, what the fuck for a mobile game?
I would like to know if the install for playing Hearthstone on your PC is smaller.
But it's like, it does feel like they could have cut some corners. Like, I don't need animations for every card.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we talk news?
Yeah, let's do it. All right,
I feel like I've angered the internet with my tirades and ranting enough.
And the headline now is totally going to be about sleeping.
Yeah.
John's weighted blanket.
Yeah.
That's what the game we're playing.
Exactly. All right, let's do some news.
Legitimately, that's all I'm looking forward to is my weighted blanket being notified that it's delivered. That's all I'm waiting for.
That's
today.
awesome. Yeah, that must be a childlike thing, but I still like getting packages in the mail. That's why I like Amazon. So
Even if it's like,
ooh, for me.
Even if it's just like, oh, I got coconut oil sent to me, that I needed more of.
If it's a letter, it's like, no, this is some medical bill that I
package.
forgot
I get to
about.
open something.
Yeah, exactly.
What happened in news?
I got a few things that I want to run through, and then we'll talk about Red Dead 2.
Yeah, we will.
First off, and this was kind of interesting, the Nintendo president said he wants more DLC in their games.
Is that a call out to his developers or for indie developers or what?
No, he was talking about, I think specifically games like Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I was going to say those two come to mind.
Yeah, Bloomberg quoted Shintaro Furukawa as saying, "We need continuous growth. We must keep releasing new software. That includes DLCs and other contents for big titles that are already out." So
it feels very reactionary to the fact that they don't really have a ton of big old like AAA titles slated for a while.
That's right.
They've got Pokemon and Smash. What's after that?
Metroid and then Kirby.
And then the new Pokemon, in 2019.
But that's new Pokemon in 2019.
Maybe a Star Fox game.
I do feel like this has been, and I still play my Switch a lot, but when I think of my favorite games of this year so far, Red Dead, God of War, Spider-Man, Dragon Quest XI, none of those are from the Switch. Nope.
But
Because wait, Odyssey and Breath did not come out in 2018.
Those were last year.
Those were 2017.
And now they do have Smash is coming up. That's their big, and then Pokemon Let's Go. But it feels like a bit of a lull, at least for me personally.
Well, and my thing is when I think of Nintendo, I don't think of a prolonged experience of gaming. Like there's something to a game that has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and I'm done with it.
Right.
And I like that about
a very
it.
traditional game.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I paid $60 once I beat it. I'm done with it. I don't have to worry about Halloween events or anything like that. It's just the experience is done.
They only did one thing of DLC for Breath of the Wild, right?
They did two.
They did two
things of
They did
DLC.
the sword, the Master Trials, and then
The
something.
Champion's Ballad.
Okay.
right.
So they
I
did
actually
do
kind of
two.
have a list of Switch games that have DLC that are currently out.
Okay.
We have Splatoon 2. They had that Octo DLC. That's a whole single-player expansion that came out. Zelda's Breath of the Wild had the Champion's Ballad and the Master Sword Trials. Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. That's kind of a first-party, third-party game. It was that crossover with Ubisoft. It had a Donkey Kong DLC that had a whole extra world and characters. They also have costumes that are regularly being added and updated to things like Super Mario Odyssey, as well as like the Fire Emblem Warriors franchise. They have a whole bunch of DLC packs that basically bring back the whole like every other Fire Emblem game, and I think they added a mode that's like a history mode where you can play through these Dynasty Warrior style like Fire Emblem story modes where it'll like show you the story of Fire Emblem from a Dynasty Warriors perspective. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, apparently that had a really, really good DLC launch that added a whole bunch of story, had a season pass.
Yeah, that just came out.
That just came out. That's kind of it for first-party titles. I'm sure I'm forgetting something.
The one I remember the most is Mario Kart 8. And that,
for the Wii.
Yeah, that started out for the Wii U, and that, in my mind, that was their first DLC. Now, they might have done more, but that was new racers, a couple new cups. So it was, if you want more Mario Kart, here it is. It felt very limited, but you sort of knew what you were getting.
Wait, are you saying that Nintendo's not normally known for being a DLC producer for their titles?
No, I think I think it's very safe to say they have been kind of last on board on the whole games as a service, on DLC, on microtransactions. They do it more on mobile with Fire Emblem and things like that. But this, to me, feels like he's looking at the rest of the industry and going,
for the first time ever. It feels like Nintendo lives in this bubble.
Yes.
They don't acknowledge everyone's yelling. They're like, "What do you mean this Bluetooth? What are you talking about? We've never heard of this." Like that kind of thing. And they just don't model themselves based off anybody else's technology. But now, for the first time, he looked out the window and he goes, "What's everybody talking about as DLC for?
Yeah.
Well,
you make us more money? We should do this."
Well, there's definitely going to be DLC for Smash Brothers. Like, I don't think there's any question.
Yeah.
Like, with the poor sales for, what was it, the Wii U, they still had DLC for Smash coming out for that. So they're going to do that on Switch.
What if they made Pokemon DLC? That would be weird.
See, that concerns me because with the new Pokemon game, that's where they're going to be like, hey, look at this brand new 160 Pokemon, but you can only get it if you pay $12.99.
I'd do it. I'd do it.
Yeah, I would too at the end of the day. But like, it gets really weird because what if there's like an OP Pokemon that if I pay 99 cents I can get, and I can just trample every single person out in competitive.
Going even further, think about loot boxes. If you had some like loot box mechanic for collecting Pokemon.
Yeah.
Well, and
they already do. It's in Pokemon Go.
And let's not forget about Amiibo, which they've been doing, and they've gotten a little sneaky with Amiibo.
Fuck! Do I got to start buying Amiibos if I got to Switch?
They locked the whole game, the hardest game mode of Metroid: Samus Returns behind a specific Amiibo. You could only unlock it with that Amiibo. So they've
the
done
Amiibo
some
hard to
sneaky
get?
things. I don't know.
'Cause it does-
We
that-
have
that-
one in the no office if you want one.
Well, that just makes sense because that's just putting behind a paywall.
Yes.
But with Amiibos, often you wonder, like, is it a rare one? If it's like one that keeps selling out, then that's literally you having
Right.
DLC that sells out, which is not normal.
It does feel like, well, and also it's easier probably to just make some DLC than to put out a new game every time.
Game's already built.
That takes years and years and years, may or may not work. Whereas more Zelda DLC is going to sell a certain amount.
Spider-Man DLC was nothing. It was just literally the game with more missions. That's all it was. It was like
It only took you 2 hours to play?
No, I only played 2 hours.
Okay.
So there might be more to it, but like playing 2-3 hours of it, like I encountered one new bad guy, which was just the heavy thug with a chain gun. That's all it was, or the minigun.
Skin, yeah.
That was all he was, and so like that was it. And there was more interaction with Black Cat, obviously.
Yeah.
Right.
And there were their suits, and I loved the suits. They were pretty great. But as far as like anything amazing new, it wasn't. That's what DLC is. It's just more of the game.
Yeah.
And so you just, to do that for their games they've already got made, it makes total sense. And now I really want Pokemon DLC, and I haven't even played the game yet.
It all depends on which direction they go with the DLC.
Yeah.
If they go like cosmetics or story-based or kind of loot box mechanic. You guys are forgetting about a game coming out next year, though, that is kind of ripe for that, and that's Animal Crossing. I think that's kind of ripe
I forget about that because I don't care about Animal Crossing.
But yeah, that's
a game that seems perfect for
But
perfect from a business standpoint.
Look at
of,
all
like,
the new lamps we have for your
Exactly.
house.
right. Also, if they wanted to go, heavy on DLC, on
Oh my God.
skins and shit with Pokemon.
Well, it's Pokemon skins. Well, yeah, and also like accessories for like your Pokemon and that kind of thing.
Right.
But now all I can think of for Animal Crossing is if they were to release like the game, and then the DLC is like a whole new animal of the village that's never been seen before. People will go nuts because they're trying to romance these animals.
Well, and I think what would be cool is like if it's going to be Pokemon, if they're like, hey, here's a brand new region that you can get for $4.99, and it opens like 5 new cities or something.
With like
that
5 new Pokemon, that kind of thing. Because I mean,
that would be
Meltan's
cool.
already that one that they're already showing that they are willing to expand the Pokemon universe even within this already like defined storyline of creating a whole new mythical Pokemon, and he evolves. Like they're already like messing with their own rules,
Right.
so they're showing that they'd be willing to mess with their rules.
It's like they don't even care about canon.
It's like they don't even. I'm all for it. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm gonna be able to get that Meltan immediately. I'm all for it.
So yeah, that's I think
That's actually interesting, considering that's not Nintendo's norm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's a little fear maybe going forward. Is our sweet little Nintendo getting corrupted by by the world?
Or how small will their games become now that they're offering DLC? Maybe like Odyssey, we would have only gotten like 5 maps, and then the rest of them would have been in DLC.
And that's where DLC gets shitty, when you feel like you paid for a full game but you don't get it.
Yeah.
What if the next Nintendo console they release it with like a normal controller? Like that would scare you, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Like if it was just a handheld controller with a D-pad on
Just
the
a
left.
traditional
like
console
kind of
that you
thing.
just plug in.
Oh my God!
Okay, graphics.
What happened to our Nintendo?
Yeah. Hey, this one's got good graphics. Enjoy.
This one actually has the standard of graphics right now.
Speaking of microtransactions, DLC, Fallout 76, Bethesda, I believe they told GameSpot, Fallout 76 will have microtransactions. It's going to be a currency called Atoms, but it looks like they are going to go the Overwatch route and only cosmetics. Yes.
That's not totally unheard of, considering this is a multiplayer open world game, and I think that's almost a standard we're all used to at this point. From Overwatch to, well, it's not an open world game, but like GTA 5 is a great example.
Right.
I mean, the shark cards are that. And although the GTA 1 is like, at this point, you have to pay to keep playing the new stuff, because the new stuff they keep releasing costs so much to get the new car.
Like GTA Online?
Yeah, GTA Online. But like PUBG, immediately we had that with the cosmetics, and that's open, like a big old giant multiplayer game.
It's kind of like a routine they have to go through now, where Pete Hines was like, yes, we have microtransactions. It's not pay to win. It's not pay to win, because no one wants to be Battlefront 2.
You got to specify it.
Yeah.
You do have to specify it.
Have you guys played any of the beta?
No, haven't gotten into
No,
it
I
yet.
haven't got a chance to.
I've
been
heard
watching
kind of
Twitch
mixed.
streams
Yeah.
and some clips of it, and the people who love it absolutely love it. But there's some bugs, some big bugs.
This might be a more divisive game than I was expecting. I thought Fallout, with its almost universal love, as far as in the gaming world goes, that new Fallout game would mean universally loved by people. But this, like, it is like creating a divide.
Well, it's a complete departure. I mean, from a first-person, story-based game to this, it's sort of like an MMO or just like a base-building game. I think people are just fuzzy on it.
And to call back what we were talking about earlier, it's a departure of the norm in the midst of other options we're all willing to play and devote our time to.
Yes.
Like Red Dead is like probably the worst thing in the world that could have ever happened to Fallout 76.
Yeah.
Oh, total.
So let me ask you this: with all the problems that they're having in the game, do you guys foresee them pushing it back? Because it's like 2 weeks from now the game comes out.
I think it's too late.
Yeah.
I think
it's too late.
probably there's certain devs or marketing people who would want to, but I'm sure there are people who are in charge of the money and going, no, you're going to sell this for Christmas. Put the fucking game out, because we're going to get those numbers, because we need those numbers for
Fix
Christmas.
the bugs as they come.
They also just rolled out that live-action commercial, I
Yeah,
think,
that's
over
true.
the weekend.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
did.
know if you saw that.
That was a cool little commercial.
It was cool, but like...
But also, it's like, this is not how the game's going to be.
Right.
That's when I see those commercials, I go, oh, this is cool. That's not the game.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that Infinite Warfare or something, where it was like all these like
Robert
Kobe
Downey Jr.
Bryant and
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Ducking. It's like none of this is in the game.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a concept thing.
It is. It's just to get you hyped about it, and it did, like, for a moment, get me hyped about the game until my meta brain kicked in. I went, this is not actually the game.
Right.
Well, when I look at this game too, I think of
Like, that's not how the game will look.
No, not at all. And I look at this and I'm like, man, this is a huge commitment of time.
Yes.
Because when I played Ark,
Yeah.
I was like in that every single night for 4 hours. Like, I just don't have the time for this right now. That's what it comes down to.
Although I say that, but some friends of mine are like all planning to group up on
Yeah,
Fallout
yeah,
76. So it's like that. There's still that social pull of like, oh, I don't want to be left out. Like, if you guys are all right, I guess I'll join.
That's why I might just flat out miss the first push of it because like it might just be easier just to miss the push and come in when there's a DLC that's all brand new.
This also does feel like a game where kind of like early Destiny 1 and 2, where there may not be a ton to do at the beginning, but if they stick with it, keep adding, and then you hear like, hey, it's actually pretty good right now, and then you check it out.
All right, you got me excited about the game.
I like it.
I like. In a couple months.
I like that.
I haven't actually even pre-ordered it. I'll pre-order it just so I can like have it there, and so they'll get my money. So it doesn't matter. But I'm just not gonna be playing it.
Okay, that is. Oh wait, one more. The PlayStation Classic lineup was announced.
Oh, that's right.
That's their mini. You know, their answer to.
It looks so adorable.
It
looks so adorable.
It does. It has the kind of faithfully recreated controllers, but the lineup has been a little controversial.
Let's see the lineup.
Okay, let's go through it. Battle Arena Toshinden, which is a fighting game. Cool Borders 2.
Oh, I don't know a lot of these games.
Yes, Destruction Derby, Final Fantasy VII, the first GTA, Intelligent Cube.
First GTA, the top down?
Yes.
I fucking love that. Yeah. I played that in school when I was supposed to be doing work.
Intelligent Cube, Jumping Flash. You had a PlayStation at school?
No, it was PC.
Oh, okay. Jumping Flash, Metal Gear Solid, Mr.
Like where your
Driller.
brain went.
It's like, fuck. Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, that's a good choice. Rayman, Resident Evil Director's Cut, Revelations Persona.
Like that.
First Persona, Ridge Racer Type 4, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo.
with that.
Siphon Filter, Tekken 3, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, the first Twisted Metal, and Wild Arms. So
There's some weird games in there.
there's some games in there. I think there's some good choices. You gotta have Final Fantasy VII. You gotta have the Resident Evil.
Am I the only one that
Tekken 3, but boy, there's some big missing spots there.
I'm trying to think of like, because I didn't own a PlayStation, but I had a very good friend who had one, so I played a lot of games on his.
Yeah.
There's no Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat was on PlayStation 2.
I'm sure it
It was like Trilogy. It was Mortal Kombat Trilogy was on that, something like that.
My first thought was Parappa the Rapper.
Yeah, that's a big
Why
one
not be? That's just like, I know it's kind of a niche game, but like everyone remembers that game now.
See, the big thing for me on this is when I found out that the disc drive didn't work, I thought that was a huge miss for Sony. Because I have so many old PlayStation games that, like, if they would have sold this and said, hey, there's games on it, also,
this is a work.
I mean, yes, that would have been great, but the Nintendo didn't do that with either of theirs.
Yeah, but honestly, that would give it a one-up on Nintendo, because then it would push them with this N64 to be like, hey, you can also use your cartridges.
But then that also limits their control over what's on it.
Yeah,
I think they're going to want to maintain control.
So two things. One, I'm interested to see if Metal Gear Solid on there is going to have any interactions with the other games that are on there.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, Metal Gear Solid had those things where like Psycho Mantis would come up and mention like, oh, like, you know, you'd have to like play with your controller plugged into the second port, and it would reference games on your save file. I wonder if they'll have anything like crossover like that with these games that are new. The other thing is the Japanese PlayStation Classic has a different list of games entirely.
Yeah, they have.
I have a list right here. It's Arc the Lad 2, Armored Core, the Resident Evil Director's Cut, Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, is Resident Evil on the one that we're getting?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
G Darius, Gradius Gaiden, Intelligent Cube, Jumping Flash, the Persona game, Metal Gear Solid, Mr. Driller. A new one that's not on the US one is Parasite Eve.
Which should be.
Yes.
So should Armored
Racer Type
Core.
4, Saga Frontier, Super Puzzle Fighter, Tekken 3, Toshinden, Wild Arms, and 9. I think the new ones there are the 2 Arc the Lad games, Parasite Eve, G Darius, and Gradius Gaiden.
Yeah, they got rid of Cool Borders 2, Destruction Derby, GTA Oddworld, I think, and Rayman.
I played Cool Borders.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're the one. Okay.
I did.
And so I've got some.
What was the other one?
where-
1080? Wasn't that a PlayStation snowboarding
I think
one?
it was SS 1080 or
SSX?
Yeah,
1080?
SSX was the
Something
one,
like that?
yeah.
I played that.
I've been seeing a lot of criticism on this about like Spyro not being on there.
Oh, Spyro's not on there.
But there's also the side of it that Sony's looking at it from a marketing perspective to be like, we're trying to sell remastered copies. Why would we throw it on there? But the one that's weird for me, I was a Twisted Metal kid as a kid.
Yep.
Twisted Metal 2 is the much better version of it. I don't know why they picked Twisted Metal 1.
Or at least put both, because they put several Marios on the Nintendo one, right?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah. At least Mario 1 and 3.
Yeah,
and 2
put
also.
both Twisted Metals on there. It's like another megabyte.
Yeah, I agree, and I do think because of remasters, they're staying away from Crash, from Spyro, from Medieval. I don't know why you don't put Gran Turismo in there.
Oh yeah.
Silent Hill, Tomb Raider. I mean, you can go on.
Tomb Raider's not on there. What the fuck?
Because I think that these little consoles are they're nostalgia machines, but they should be a little sampling of what you remember from that era. I think this hits some of those, but not enough.
No, it doesn't.
Especially not for $100 and just 20 games.
Tomb Raider seems like a
for?
major miss.
$69.99, is that what this is going
No,
for?
100.
Oh, wow.
There's definitely some on there
Give me a
that like
disc
I
drive for
don't
that.
know why they aren't on there. The main reason a lot of people are speculating on is music licensing. Like if you try to get Tony Hawk's Pro Skater on there, all the music in that would have to be figured out for licensing. Any additional licensing issues between say like Capcom and PlayStation.
Yeah, I suppose.
All the remakes, releases, remasters that you brought up, Bryant.
Yep.
And yeah, most of the PlayStation's best games were third-party titles.
Yeah,
Was
that's what I was
Monkey
thinking.
Ball on PlayStation?
Huh?
Monkey Ball, was that PlayStation?
I thought it was Nintendo.
There was Ape
Oh, okay.
Escape.
What?
Ape Escape was
Ape
a
Escape.
PlayStation game.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. That's not even on there.
My other fear with the PlayStation Mini is I wonder if these games will hold up as well as pixelated stuff as NES,
They won't.
because it's
They
just
won't.
I don't think these are what people
They
remember.
won't.
I downloaded Twisted Metal Black on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
And I was so excited to play it. I invited some buddies over, and I was like, this game is horrible.
But that'll be what happens when we get the N64 classic.
Yeah.
We'll do this.
Because they're all 3D games, but they're
Gotta see those polygons.
Yeah.
right. They're those proto 3D games that are just You go play Final Fantasy VII right now. It is not what you.
It's another game that's getting remastered, so that's weird. Is that they're throwing that in there? With
And that'll
Final
be out
Fantasy VII.
that'll be out any day now.
Yeah. Hopefully.
So yeah, we will see. This doesn't feel as much of a must-buy to me as the NES and the SNES
not at all.
did.
It's not. It's just not.
Yeah. All right. So that is all the news.
Dead.
Let's talk about Red Dead 2.
Ooh.
I fucking love that the clip was. I gotta put my hat on because it's red.
There we
right
go.
there. I fucking love that the clip was the horse colliding with stuff because that's half the game at
Yeah.
this point. Is you missing your turn or eyeing something and just colliding with shit.
What's your guys' tally on horses right now?
I haven't killed any yet.
Oh, never mind.
I haven't either.
It's
I've
off.
gotten lucky. But they have they're permadeath, right?
Yeah.
Like once
Yeah.
they're dead, they're dead.
You can have a horse
Just like real
revitalizer.
Okay.
Just like real life, yeah. But if you're out of those, or if the horse like falls down a cliff or like gets taken
And it is
somewhere.
the most traumatizing sound in the world.
Every
in
sound
the
is-
game. It's
Yeah.
like I've killed 7 so far.
Yeah.
Holy
Jesus
shit.
Christ!
Yeah.
Bryant.
It's me not paying attention and just galloping because I don't want to stay on the roads. I'm like, you're
Well,
making
yeah,
me
you
go
wanna-
this way and
you
my
wanna-
destination's over here. I'll just cut through the forest and I don't know there's a cliff.
Yeah.
And I just, yeah.
I did that when I looked at chat while I was playing. I was like, oh yeah, that's funny, just right off a cliff. But I luckily survived somehow.
Yeah.
Uh,
They're like cars in GTA. You just go out in the wild and get a new one and you're good.
Yeah, but what if you've there's like bonding levels.
yeah,
right?
I
But what if
bonded
you
and
have
named my
another-
horses and I customized them.
I think amongst the horse community, they're just like, stay away from that guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's not one.
They all look at the ground when you come to the stable. Just don't make eye contact.
My first thought when I played it was the production values on this game, and there's been a lot written about it, but man, they are off the charts.
It's
It is just
excessive.
It's just a new bar of like the music.
Yeah,
There's
the
this sort of minimalist violin. Starting you off in the snow, where you can just see like just your tracks in the snow to a degree that's just insane. Even in 2018, it just blew me away. And I
Well, something I realized along that line that as I was playing this morning was that you notice that the world is populated beyond your scope to a very detailed degree. That stuff is happening that will go a direction, and stuff will be already spawned over there and happening.
Yeah.
Or some random event will have been around, and so it's not that like, and also like. Shit stays where you leave it.
Yeah.
Like the big thing about, other than killing your fucking horse is losing your hat. And yeah, losing your hat sucks, especially if you have a really good hat.
Right.
But if you know where it is, you can go out of the town and come back and the hat's still there.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it doesn't despawn.
That's insane. That's pretty. The first Red Dead was kind of like that in the sense of it definitely gave you the impression of life was going on without you.
Yes,
you could
very populated.
Yeah, you could come across something. There might be a robbery. There might be somebody having an issue. You could choose to get involved. You could not choose to get involved. Now, other games have adopted that, but the first Red Dead was the one where I really remembered that. And I just remember coming across somebody who was just like crying and wailing, and then he just shot himself in the head.
Yeah.
And whoa, that's fucked up.
Well, I came across, I was leaving the Valentine, and it wasn't anything with a quest or anything like that, but there was an execution happening.
Yeah.
And so I stopped and I watched the execution, and chat kept yelling at me to save the guy. And I was like, I'm in the middle of town in front of all the law. Like, I saved that guy, and you guys are costing me like $200 in a bounty. Like, no, I'm not fucking doing this.
Right. If I go blow everybody away.
Right, which is an option.
The thing that strikes me about the game is how well they've like captured the America West. Like, what's cool about it is like I talked to my wife about it, and I was like, you know, in literary we have like Mark Twain, we have Fitzgerald, and it's weird that in gaming it's like Rockstar is the Fitzgerald of gaming. Is that they've created this encapsulation of an era that's just beautiful.
And they're not even American.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of Brits doing a better job of it than we can. But it's that period, while not very long, I mean, you're talking about basically into the Civil War, 1865 to 1900. You know, this game's set in 1899. They make a big deal about the end. The era is coming to an end. So you're not talking about that long of a time, but it's so iconic in our imaginations. It looks so beautiful. Everything is just top notch. The voice acting. I've heard some complaints that it starts slow. But I've enjoyed it.
Let's talk about the beginning, because you brought it up and you were saying that you loved the opening, but you were saying it was because it was like a book or a movie.
It's the plot. I think number one, I like that it starts in a blizzard. I think that was a really cool take for a Western, because you immediately get the sense of just trying to survive. Is a big chore. That's sort of the goal, that they're just like, we just need to keep warm right now. And you're like, oh, I forget. There's no real transportation like we're used to. There's obviously no phones. We need to hole up, and like it's such a throwback and so primitive compared to modern life. So there's that. And then they're all referencing this event that happened.
Blackwater.
Yeah, it reminded me of Reservoir Dogs in a sense of there was this thing on the boat that happened, some sort of robbery, people got killed, and you're sort of learning from conversations because you weren't there, Arthur wasn't there, but we're all kind of regrouping after that happened. I really, really like it's one of my favorite intros in a while that I've seen.
Yeah, they just toss you right into it.
Yeah. And I like that. It feels very lived in, and that there's no setup, there's no origin story, there's none of that. You're like immediately on the run, and it's stressful.
Yeah.
I will say that I agree with like how well their choices on how they introduce you to the game and the characters and the story and everything, and leading all the way up to your camp outside of Valentine. That's fucking long.
Yeah.
That opening,
because
I streamed the whole opening, and I started, and it wasn't until 2.5 hours into my stream that we even made camp.
Yeah.
Because you're definitely on rails.
Yeah.
Even when you make camp, you're still in kind of a tutorial. They're teaching you how to fish. They're teaching you how to do all this other stuff. Yeah.
But the open world aspect of the game and the branching off of like stories and stuff like that doesn't happen until 2.5 hours into the game. And which that number in itself isn't a bad number to have attached to your game, except for that a good chunk of that opening was this fun game they like to play with you, which is sit on your horse and gallop slowly with someone and listen to them talk for the next 15 minutes. And so, like, I get that you want to get story on and everything like that, but like, you know, there's the point where you go out hunting with, I think it's Lenny, and you get the deer on your horse. You don't fast track back to your camp. You then just trot back to your camp with him and talk the whole way. And you do that several times in that opening.
Everyone is very chatty. Also, Gus seems a little too fatherly or friendly at the beginning.
Yeah.
For the leader of a fucking outlaw gang, I don't know. And I get
You mean Dutch?
Yeah, Dutch. Yeah. it's a little too, I don't know, he just felt a little too warm and fuzzy. Yep. And I get that we're going to witness sort of his descent in the game.
I want to in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm just talking about like 2 hours into the game, I already became an out. I mean, I don't know where you guys are at the meter, but I'm completely just evil.
I'm still dead center. I'm really trying to stay honored and everything like that.
Oh no, I'm not talking about Arthur. I'm talking about Dutch. Dutch Vanderland, the gang leader. And I know
saying him as a character is not very villainous or Machiavellian at all.
Yes. No, everybody, he's, just the dad figure. Like everybody get warm and warm up.
He's reading a book in his tent. He's not out there doing anything.
Right.
He's just like, "Good morning, Arthur." And it's just
I hate Micah.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate him, and I hate that I had to save him. And I probably could have not saved him, but I'm like, to continue the story the way I wanted to go, I did save him and everything like that. Yeah. Like, I very much, when there's the point where you have to go save Micah from the jail.
Right.
And I was ready to just shoot him. Just like, no.
See, I made the mistake early game. I was playing, and I found out about the gold exploit, which I don't know if you guys...
the gold bar thing?
Yeah, where you can go, if you find a gold bar, you can save your game a certain way and then reload that session, and every time you grab a gold bar, it's unlimited gold bars.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so I found out about it, went in, and they were like, you've got to turn autosaves off. And I was like, all right, I'll turn autosaves off. I did it. Exploit didn't work. And I completely forgot to turn autosaves back on, and I was playing for 4 hours, and I was like, all right, time to go to bed, shut it off, woke up the next morning, and it was like all of that 4 hours of work gone. So to your point
I put down games because of that.
For like stupid conversations, I'm just like doing it twice. I'm like, nah, dude, you need to stop talking.
Yeah, there's once you make the camp, then there's a quest to get into a horse cart with one of the boys and then a couple of girls, and you go into town, and that triggers a bunch of things in town. For some reason, the save state of where that was right at the camp, and would not all the way into like going into the mercantile store and then going and saving the girl from the guy who was manhandling her and like that. Like all of that, which is a lot of talking. The save state was still at the camp, and I kept fucking ending up back at the camp because I go there and I try to like threaten the guy who was antagonizing her. I accidentally stabbed him because sometimes you do that in the game.
Yeah.
Sure.
You accidentally shoot people all the time.
A lot.
And so then I had to go back, and then the next time, like, there's a point where the train is going by and you have to stop, and I didn't stop all the way, and my cart hit the train just a little bit, and it went, you destroyed the horse in the cart, you gotta start over, and I was like, fuck!
Yeah.
Back to the camp with you.
I was using a cart, and I got it stuck, like in that Austin Powers scene, where he's like backing up forward and front, and the mission just goes black, and it's like, cart stuck. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I lost, darn it.
It can be a little unforgiving at times.
It is very chatty. The gang is very chatty. A lot of the times it does feel like an office conversation you can't get out.
I mean, there's literally points where you go into the camp to turn in something, and then just to walk from the middle of the camp to your horse, like 3 people will talk to you, and your character's doing this, like walking away, but still like trying to pay attention to them. So then it's like, it's him acknowledging the person who then walks up and wants to talk to you about something, which progresses the story.
Right.
But if I'm not in the mood to progress the story right now, then there is no like, no, I don't want to talk to you.
Well, and there's also missions that feel like completely unnecessary. Like some lady at the camp came up to me and she's like, can you go take my son fishing? And I'm like, not really what I want to do in this game right now.
I'm not the YMCA, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, take
go talk to the kid's dad, have him fish, John Marston.
It is. I do like the more that I unlock more and more things to do, like to go recover debts and to do bounties and to do all that kind of stuff. Hunting is actually really fun.
Yeah, it was fun in the first one.
I found bison. I killed a buffalo. It was fantastic.
Are you trying to be good or bad in the game? You said good. You got the white hat on.
I thought I was going to go the whole bad route. Like, if you want to watch someone who's total black hatting, go watch Jeremy's stream. He's fucking just going around hog-tying people and throwing them off bridges. That's all he's doing. And I watched him hog-tie a dude, throw him over a bridge in front of a waterfall. The guy floats to the edge of the waterfall, snags onto a rock, and is just stuck there, hog-tied in the water, just floating around.
Oh, wow.
So Jeremy just snipes him, and that's it. Like, that's what Jeremy's doing. I'm not white hatting because there's still times where you get negatives just for anything, but but I'm middle grounding right now.
Okay.
And I'm trying to do stuff. But you're still an outlaw. Like I did a quest where you.
Like you're still robbing people.
Yeah, there's a thing to go and unlock this guy who then after you do a mission, you can now bring almost GTA-esque stagecoaches and carts to him, and he'll change license plates and everything like that.
We'll paint them.
Yeah,
that'll
we'll paint
get rid
over.
of your bounty.
But you have to go and rob a house. And while I probably could have gone worse, and you can go in and you can sneak around and take the stuff out of the house, you probably could have shot the people if you really wanted to and been even worse.
Yeah.
I just robbed them blind and then left. But it's like you're still a robber. You're still doing that.
Right.
I'm 100% playing evil in this game.
Nice.
Trying to do as much as I can. And the thing is, I started off thinking I was going to be good, but then the back comments sometimes the characters make to me, I'm like, I just helped you. Like, how are you going to talk to me that? There was a dude I was collecting a debt from in the game.
Yeah.
And I take him to where his debt is. He has it hidden, and he's hogtied on the back of my horse. And I was like, oh, I'll take him back to his house and be the nice guy. And then while he's on the back of the horse, he's talking trash to me. And I'm like on a railroad track, and I'm like, all right. So took him off the horse, put him on the railroad track, and I'm like, I'm not going to deal with this.
Does the game...
Immediately got negative.
My concern about going total Black Hat is that I worry that the game then gets like harder in certain ways that I won't be able to.
Like if you go into towns, everybody's going to be on high alert.
So what I've noticed is that like when you go to a new town, your history of that region doesn't seem to trail you into that. Because when I was was it Valentine is the first city you go to? I created so many problems in that town that when we went to Rhodes, it was like everyone was like, welcome, how are you doing? Good to be here. So I'm hoping that that's going to continue to go on, that like as you go to new cities, it's not going to be a big deal.
I might be prone to go more Black Hat if I get to the point in the game where money's a lot more something that you have a lot of. Because right now, bounties can fuck you. And as far as like money, like Andy just tweeted about last night where he had an instance where he went to go get a bounty, and he got the guy. The guy was worth $25. He went in and turned in the guy. Immediately came out of the sheriff's office and bumped into someone, which then he accidentally shot them or something, and then he had to pay $10 to take his bounty off his name. And then he went over to the post office and like took someone's horse accidentally, and so then got another bounty and spent another $10. So in the end, that bounty that he just did only made $5 for him. And that whole Micah thing that I was talking about.
It's like selling your games back at GameStop.
It is.
That's what it feels like.
The Micah quest is that you go and you basically, and I'm not spoiling anything because this is like in the first 5 hours of the game of a like 200-hour game, so I don't feel bad talking about this, but you go and you free him. And then he proceeds to create a huge riot in the town where you then end up killing, at minimum, 25 people.
He was in jail for a reason.
Yeah, and if you try not to kill anyone, you get shot or he gets shot and the mission
The
fails.
town is ready to just shoot you. And so then once you get out of it, your bounty is $85.
Right.
Which is like, might as well be $10,000 in real world.
Right.
Like, that's what it is.
Right.
What do you guys think about the size of the map? Is it what you expected? Is it too big? Is it big enough?
I have only just started to venture further out. In fact, just this morning, a quest took me far enough out. Where often in these games, they're like, well, the quest took me pretty far out. I could head back, or I could just expand my map a little bit more, and just because I'm more out. So I went all the way down to, what's the Le Denis? What's the name of the like New Orleans town?
Wasn't
It's
it
super
Bordeaux
south.
or
Something like that, and I went all the way down there. So that's as far as I've gone. I haven't explored a ton. I don't want it to be too big because I know that it takes a while to get to the point where you can do any sort of fast travel stuff. There's stagecoaches, but even then, there's only a few, and they cost.
I'm sure the driver wants to fucking talk to you.
No, at least it's actually like a.
Hey, did I ever tell you about my childhood?
It goes cinematic and then fades.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay.
So it's real fast travel, although you can actually set your horse to cinematic view, and the horse will just follow the trail.
Right.
Which is fine unless you.
Does that work? Like, because cinematic view, I see so many accidents happening all the time.
It works.
I don't use it. Yeah, because of that.
It works as long as you have a route that you're going on and you're on a road, and you don't run into any aggro.
Okay.
Because if O'Donnell's, just so O'Connell's, something like that, whatever.
Yeah.
They, if they come out, they'll end your cinematic and you'll have to fight. So if you're not like, your control's not in your hand, you have to do it.
Do this is something that kind of it's a minor pick and like a masterpiece of a game, but like when the cinematic mode happens and you have the letterbox, does that bother you guys at all?
I love it.
You do?
I like
But
it.
I don't know about any of you guys, but I grew up with a dad that Westerns were his genre. We watched Westerns. And so I have a deep nostalgic connection to the genre. I can list a dozen to 20 Westerns that are like my favorite movies of all time. And so when it does that, some good music kicks in, and it just looks like that. I get like a little bit of a swell inside.
Well, and this whole game seems so influenced by westerns, just as
The film genre, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the intro, a lot of
The way that the characters are
musical
playing.
Totally.
Yeah.
In addition to, it's a very wild, bunchy plot, I think. What do you guys think of the gunplay? It feels a little...
It's very GTA. It's
Yeah.
very aim assist and...
Right.
But I think it has to be like, who was I talking? I was talking with Alfredo yesterday about it. He's not playing it, but he was watching gameplay of it. And Alfredo's like me, conventionally a PC player, and so with PC games, we're all about the Twitch scan and everything like that.
Right.
With this console version, it's like GTA console where you have the aim assist. But in all honesty, I think the game would be too annoying at the very least, if not difficult to be the worst, if it didn't have aim assist, because of even just simple things like if I was on my horse and I was expected to hit a goddamn deer from my horse, or even just someone else, like when there's two people on horses and they're just doing this, like if I had to find someone, like I could not be able to do
I'm
it.
rotating.
My only complaint with it is that, like on stealth missions, sometimes I don't know what I have equipped. So I'll try sneaking up someone like throwing knives or like a hatchet.
Oh, I tried to rope someone and I shot them.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happens is like there's a camp early in the game that you're sneaking up on the enemies.
Yep.
And I thought I had like a knife, and all of a sudden like they're like, be very quiet, and I just pull out my revolver and just blew the guy's head
You
off.
come in
It's
like Yosemite Sam.
The controller does take some getting used to because there are so many things that your character can do and have access to that
It's
like
the classic console problem.
like even just to eat something, you have to pull up menu, swap to the next menu, and then turn your analog stick to where you want to eat, and then release the button that was holding the menu. Like that's to eat something.
Right.
Which
Whereas
you
PC, you could just push a button.
Yeah, I would open up menu, eat that,
Yeah.
and then exit menu.
Which you bring to a great topic of the health, the dead eye, and the
cores.
stamina. Do you guys feel like that's gone too far? What
No,
do you think?
I think it took a little bit of a learning curve, but once I figured it out, it's fine. And it adds to the whole realism, I think, of it. They're really trying to make this a game that has consequences to what you do. You kill 7 horses, you're gonna kill 7 horses. You're not gonna brush your horse is gonna get dirty and not feel so good. You're not gonna eat, then you're not gonna feel so good either.
Right. If you don't shave, you're going to look like Grizzly Adams.
Well, and that was the part that blew me away was that I took a bath in the early beginning of the game, and then my character just progressed to get dirtier and dirtier in the cutscenes, and I was like, that's like the first time I think I've seen that mechanic in a game. Which
They
is
grow
pretty
fucking
impressive.
facial hair.
Right.
Yeah.
I do wonder, and I've heard people make this observation, that the realism is great. All the things you can do, the shaving, you can drink your coffee in the morning. But a lot of people, and I do kind of agree with this, it feels like a one-play game.
Yeah.
That I don't know if I will play through this more than once.
I watched a YouTube video today of someone outlining some tips for it because I was like, I just need as much help as I can because this game is so in depth. And they said at one point in the video, you might want to do this for your first playthrough and then you can do this for your second playthrough. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about, a second playthrough? Like, there is no goddamn way. Even if I didn't have other games to play, this would not be a game that I'd want to go through all this beginning stuff again.
Right.
I think the second playthrough for me will be Red Dead Online. That'll be the only time. Once I beat the story on this game, I'm not gonna platinum this game. I looked up the trophies. It doesn't seem hard, but I don't even want to try it for this. I just want to beat it and get done.
I would do a second playthrough if I could have a skip button all the way through the beginning. That's what because then I would do a total black hat like the blackest of hats playthrough.
Yes.
Everyone dies in this playthrough. Everyone dies. Okay. But other than that, no.
I do feel like I'm missing something if I go total black hat though, because I'm missing out on conversations and interactions that I would normally. If I'm a good because then I just feel like a person where if I show up in town, everyone sort of bars the doors. And I've got a huge so that always prevents me from going.
You need to take your bandana down, so you keep walking around with your bandana. Everyone hates that.
Well, one cool thing that the game not saving did for me was I got to try out different options in the missions.
Yeah.
And one of the missions, I don't think this is a spoiler, but like a girl from his past comes along and is asking him for a favor.
Yeah.
And the first time I did the mission for him, and then the second time I was like, no, it took too long. I'm not going to do it. And when you said no, it gave like this beautiful like expanding of a relationship moment where he's just like, that chapter of my life's over. And it was like really cool.
Consequences.
There's a consequence to it. And it was like a really heartfelt moment. So if that's what a second playthrough offers, maybe I'll go back.
That's cool.
But
Yeah.
Or you could just watch other people's playthrough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. But overall, it's great. I like it. I'm glad it's here. I definitely am looking forward to spending a lot of time, and it's kind of going through, that playthrough. But yeah, it does. I do wonder if I'll go through it again, or if
I think Alfredo made a really good point because he told me why he was not playing, which I thought was like blasphemy. Someone's not playing this. Who's such a gamer like he is. But he was like, he pointed out like you can like shave yourself, and if you don't eat, you get skinny, and then your horse gets. He's like, this is a game that if you like immersiveness and you like that Lost in the World thing, if you don't fucking play this game.
Right.
You will hate it. It'll be so boring. Go play Blackout.
Yeah, it is such a throwback compared to your quick, your online shit, your Fortnite, your Blackout, your just very 20-minute sessions.
Well, and at first that took a long time for me to get used to because I just came off Spider-Man where that story was just so in your face and fast, and then go to like a slow-paced Western. It did take a second for me to get used to.
Yeah.
My concern is that like with exploring the map and seeing how expansive it is and how the majority of the life only seems to be really in the cities, when Red Dead Online comes on, if they use the same map, we don't really know much
Are all
about
the
it.
planes going to be filled with cowboys doing
Right,
stupid
it's
shit?
32 players, so I mean, you might not run across another player unless you're in the cities with that map.
Right.
Probably with that if I'm gonna guess what people are gonna use that for is that's just to buddy up with people and get to go do a bunch of outlaw stuff with the gang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of a PvE type thing.
Yeah.
Also, how crazy is the gear gonna get in online? Is there gonna
There's
be
gonna be Gatling
Well,
guns.
a neon green horse?
They could go like the Wild Wild West route and just totally add in like a bunch of steampunk shit that just doesn't make
There's
shit.
mechs and
There's a giant spider! There's a giant spider! Who unlocked the spider?
Yeah.
That is a total Rockstar move, and I hope they do it.
Well, they did that with GTA where they were like, oh, it's all like actual street stuff, and they're like, everyone gets jetpacks.
You know what? Fuck
and
it.
DeLoreans that fly. Batmobile's here. Everyone gets a Batmobile. Tron cycles. Like they leaned into it.
Hey, guess what? We invented cars now.
Yeah. I think like that's what it'll be. Is they'll they're like, oh, we found medicine that makes your horse turn into a dragon.
Yeah.
Like that's what we found.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have the dragon horse? Yes, I do. I bought that DLC.
Yeah. Well, anything else on Red Dead?
I want to go play it right now. That's
I know.
Yeah.
Always talking about it makes me want to go play. All right, that is our show. Stick around for the post-show New Game Plus. That is for our first subscribers. We love you guys. For everybody else, we'll see you back next week.
Bye.